The next sword we're going to see on this day of show and tell is, well, another Type 15, so definitely a kind of stabby sword in a sense, but one that still cuts very well. This one is very cool, well, because it's really cool. You'll hear Julian talk about it in a little bit, but it's definitely an eye catcher. It has a beautiful scabbard, well decorated, and its unique characteristic is this really thin tip that kind of doesn't lead to you thinking it's a good cutter, but again, that's something you need to be careful with because it will slice your fingers, if not off, badly. So, well, we'll get right into the close-ups and Julian introducing the sword for us. And if you like this kind of content and want to see more of it, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. And I also have a Patreon, which is not very active, but it will be as things get rolling. But as I mentioned, I have some equipment purchases in mind, some software that I would definitely, that would make things easier in terms of documenting swords and publishing them, like, and showing them off. So if you feel supportive, Patreon is the place to go. But let's see the sword.
Again, the original is kept in the depot of the Landesmuseum, and it was found in the Murtensee. And if you know a bit about Swiss history, there's where one of the three main battles of the Burgundian Wars happened.
Okay.
And the catalogue even says it might be a Burgundian sword.
Okay.
It was dated 1420 to the 1450, max 1470s.
Okay.
Because then it was found in the lake, so it has,
So this might actually be one of the ones that we can speculate a bit.
What's also interesting for this, me personally, from the Spallone project, is the length. Because it's the original that is left is 143 centimeters. So very close to what we already see as a transitional, like, Schlachtschwert in that sense. But you will see on the blade that it's not clear exactly. Of the other transitional ones we know from Switzerland itself, it's still very thrusty.
Yes.
And more something that you might have seen in Thalhofer manuscripts, for example. I guess you pull it out first.
Yes. And what conditions was this one in?
Lake find. So of course
bad lake find.
Quite okay. I remember that we were not allowed to lift it.
Okay. Yeah.
Like there was like a bend, a tiny bit, and something quite fragile.
Yeah.
It's also not stored like the other ones are often hung in the. You have been there, you know how it is. This is in foam.
Yeah, okay, makes sense.
No organic material left.
Yeah.
Quite corroded. Cyril always accounts a tiny bit for it, like material-wise.
Yes.
So makes the pommel maybe tiny bit more.
Yeah.
Crossguard the same. That's how it should be.
So it's not only filling in the missing, like what's obviously missing, it's even looking at
like when the edge is corroded, then obviously has been. As I said, harder to cut with it. Still works nicely, but it has a very acute thrusting point, and it's quite long.
Yeah.
I think also from all of Cyril's sword, this has had the most blood on it.
Okay.
Because people not realizing, even holding, turning around, if the tip touches you,
it cuts.
It cuts or penetrates, like all superficial. But you know, when people are looking at the swords, and normally we do it in a secluded space and very carefully. It was one of like Cyril's friends even. It's not like some visitor or something, but still it had blood on it.
I hope this comes out, shows on camera, but this is the kind of tip, it's thin enough that you would see on like a small sword or something, like the small tiny taper, and those usually cutting yourself at the tip is not a concern. So I can see why people would handle it maybe a little bit gingerly.
Otherwise, a true longsword. I mean, two-handed, has a long grip, rain leather, and this is one where Cyril went a bit more out with decoration.
Yeah.
As you can see, he has embossed the handle and the rain guard or cross flap.
Yeah, you may see me struggling holding it, and that's because compared to the others we saw, this one is actually starting to be heavy in the one hand. It's like, it's not as
I think it's about 1400 grams.
Yeah, so it's not anymore
More or
like,
less.
oh, hey, you can just kind of wield it. I mean, you can,
Yeah.
but it requires a different kind of arm
No,
for...
it's meant to be
Exactly. Yeah.
used two-handed, also lengthwise, and it works very well. And again, for half swording, also like
Yes,
works nicely.
of course.
Scabbard, as you can see, is also richly decorated. This is one of the older models of Cyril, and he went a bit down with the decoration. You have noticed it on the other ones. First of all, most of the customers are like amazed if they are on these type of markets or festivals. They are amazed, but then it's not what they asked for or wanted, kind of. So it really needs to please you, that you want to pay the money and be, oh yeah, this is exactly what I want.
Yeah, I would imagine this is more usually of a custom kind of...
Yeah. So he stopped a bit with doing it. Of course, it's also a time question, but as you can see, very nicely done.
And one question here, the crossguard is really, really simple and rectangular. I mean, it does have a little bit of a flair there, but it's a very simple one.
Yeah.
Compared to the other two we saw that instead were a little more, well, maybe not elaborate, but less of a bar of steel.
Yeah.
Do you see any style things, like when you mentioned before that this may be Burgundian or something? Do you think that...
What you see more often on Burgundian swords, if they are not the one-handed or the elaborate, I once had the theory they're closer to English ones.
Okay.
At least in style, and they often also have the cross guards that are even like North Italian or something, you know, with balls on the end, and also like the pommels are going in this, not the fishtail, but the half rounded. There's this
like,
famous two-handed sword in England. Probably it's again connected to the 100 Years' War.
Okay.
Like a transitional great sword, whatever. And they are, but then there were English troops as well in that battle, because the Burgundians had 6,000 longbowmen, or and even some higher nobles. So it could technically be also something from that.
English sword,
So I don't have a proof for it, but I at one point thought, maybe, you know, they are connected or overtrade or stylistically, or this might be one of these swords. But yeah, it doesn't have the...
Yes, exactly.
This. So, but I wouldn't call it then, oh, this is a Burgundian crossguard style. That not. It's just a simple, nicely working crossguard. Also, if you turn it around to hit somebody on the head...
Oh, that's gonna do
yeah.
a lot of damage, yes. Okay, really cool. I think this one is really cool because, yeah, you get to speculate a little bit about it. It's always fun to be able to sit.
It's also at Cyril's booth or stall, I think the one people are the most captivated and asking about. It's always like, the red handled, long. This is kind of the maybe stereotypical longsword type that people associate with pop culture or whatever. Like this is everybody sees, this is like a
this. It looks like it could have come out of a movie.
Yes, exactly.
Yes,
it has that vibe kind of.
Very cool. Okay, cool. Let's see if we can avoid adding blood to the blade.
I mean, I'm on the receiving end here. Please don't.
I'm not complaining. There we go. Okay, so yeah, we'll jump into some close-up. Okay, and here we have the sword close up. So I think in this lighting we actually can appreciate way better the details of the decoration on the hilt and scabbard. So actually we'll start off by looking at the hilt. So first off is this nice hexagonal pommel. The facets aren't uncomfortable, like the ridges on the facets are not uncomfortable at all. It feels very, very comfortable to hold. You'll see the finish is really nice, or at least I quite like it. As for the grip here, I really like that you can see the cordage under the leather, and then there's this really nice kind of tooling on the leather, which, I mean, is up to individual taste, but personally I'm quite a fan. Also, the stitching line there is really cool. He chose to run on the edge of the, along the edge with a cross stitch, which is quite nice. It's very comfortable to hold. And by the way, I really like how the red kind of has different hues to it, so it's not just like red, but it's like almost like a blood red, I would say. These are the quillins I was mentioning, the crossguard I was mentioning before. It's actually a little more complex than I probably described it. You see it kind of flares out at a certain point, so it's quite elegant, but very minimalistic and modern, I would say. You'll see the decor pattern continues along the scabbard. Also, that red, deep red scabbard with the black knots, I think is really cool. And we end with a tinned shape, which again, these Cyril forges himself. So I don't know how he does that little tip at the absolute tip there, but it really looks good. Quite an elegant scabbard, I would say. It may be a little much for some. Maybe for me it might be. I'm not sure. I'm a little more of a minimalist, I would say, when it comes to design, but very nice. And you'll see the cross-stitch theme continues. The same one he used to stitch the grip in place is used at the back of the scabbard. Now getting to the sword. So here is how it fits in the one hand. Of course, my angle here is a little weird, so I can't really show you the full gripping of the sword. But here's the diamond section we mentioned. You'll see it's very pronounced. It's a very thick blade there, and it's not sharp at the, well, kind of goes up, it starts getting sharp around there, perhaps. So you have about 15 centimeters of not excessively sharp blade. I really like the antique or historical finish. So this is somewhere in between a polish and a satin finish, I would say. So you see some longitudinal lines of like polish. You can kind of mirror a little bit, but it's not like a full stainless steel look polish kind of. I find this very attractive. And you'll see that the central spine here just runs up to the tip. And it actually stays quite diamond shaped, you could say. It doesn't taper down much, you'll see there. And you'll also see here how small that tip is. When I mentioned before it's a small sword tip, I'm not joking. This is, you find this on cut steel swords from like the early 19th century, but this isn't one of them. And that is Cyril's blood red sword, I would call it. So I hope you enjoyed it. You can always buy it, of course. Get in touch with Cyril. And if you like this kind of content, like and subscribe, please, and support me on Patreon or buy me a coffee. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next sword video. Bye.